So guys, welcome again. In this time, we're gonna be talking about questions with how and short answers. Questions with how and short answers. So I'm going to try to define each one of these WH phrases, like how well, how often, how long, how good. Well, not necessarily how long, but how and adjective. So we have 4 different questions, as you can see here. Okay, 4 different questions. The first one is very easy. Okay, the first one is very easy. If you notice, the first one, the answers are with frequency. The answers are with frequency. Every day, twice a week, not very often. So how often do you work? Every day, twice a week, not very often. Do you work out? Sorry, work out. What is work out? That's another word, a phrasal verb to say exercise. Okay, exercise. How often do you exercise? That's what it means. Okay, so as you can notice, these express, these words, these answers here express frequency. You see, they express frequency. That's what they are expressed. Let's see, I don't have to, how can I do it? Let me see if I can draw. Very well. Guys, the microphone. Okay, okay. Frequency. Oh, obviously, said is here today.
Hey.
Cool. Nice to know.
Hey, man.
So, where am I? Here. So frequency. So the question, how often, is for frequency. Every day, twice a week, not very often. Now, the next question is, how long do you spend at the gym? When you have this question, how long, it refers to duration of an action, okay? Duration of the action, duration. I think that's pretty simple to understand, since it's similar to Spanish. So duration, how long is for duration? Okay, so I can have that there, and then I have an arrow, and then I... So how long is for duration of an activity? For example, how long are the Zoom meetings? How long are the Zoom meetings in here? You can say, so how long do you spend at Zoom? You can say 40 minutes a day. It's example, okay? It's not true, but 40 minutes a day, exactly. So 40 minutes a day, 2 hours a week, about 1 hour on weekends. So you have to say the duration and you have to say when it happens, okay? So 30 minutes a day, you can say a day or 2 hours a week or about 1 hour on weekends, okay? So how long is for duration? Remember that, duration. So how long do you spend at the gym? How long do you spend running? How long do you do something? Okay, so that's for the duration of the action. Now we have how well. How well, how good. So how well do you play tennis? And how good are you at sports? Now these questions might seem similar to you, but there's actually a difference between them, okay? These 2 questions might seem similar to you, but there's a difference in them. So the first one says, how well do you play tennis? The answer is pretty well, above average, not very well. So this refers to the action per se. Okay? I don't know how to, I'm very bad at this. This refers to the action per se. And when I say action, I mean like the action, the activity. Okay? How well do you play tennis? Like how well you do the action. Okay? How well you do that action. So how well do you play basketball? You can say pretty well. How well does the teacher explain the class? You can say pretty bad, or like not very well, or pretty well, if you understand it. How well is the government controlling the coronavirus in the Dominican Republic? You will say, well, above average or not very well. So that's how you use well. Now, keep in mind that well, this word over here, is an adverb. Okay, so this is an adverb. Put it here, adverb. Okay, so well is an adverb, while good it's an adjective. While good is an adjective, okay? Let me see if I can change this. There you go. Now, if this is about the action or the activity, then what does how good refers to? How good refers to, oh wait, I need to erase this part because it's taking, okay, now I'm going to do it again. It's taking part of the other. Okay, there you go. Now, how good refers to the person. Okay, good refers to the person because it's an adjective, so it describes things, it describes people, it describes nouns. They describe nouns. So here we refer to people. Here we refer to people. That's what we talk about in this one. Okay, in this one we talk about people. Why? Well, the question says, how good are you? How good are you at sports? Okay, it's not how well do you play, it's how good are you at sports. You may have a similar idea, but the structure of the question is different, and so is the answer. So how good are you at sports? Pretty good, okay, and not so good. Those are three different answers, okay? When you say pretty good, it's because you are very good. When you say okay, it's similar to above average. It's like you are intermediate. You play like the majority of the people. You are as good as the majority of the people. And not so good is like not very well. Okay, and it's in the same category. It's like you don't play that very well. Okay, so how well with adverb? How well do you play tennis? So the adverb describes the action. What is the action? This action. How well do you play tennis? Now, the adjective describes the people. And what is describing here? You. How good are you at sports? Okay, so this is frequency and this is duration of the action. So how do you know which one to use? Well, basically the answer. If the question is how well, so the answer most likely will be with well. You can say not very well, pretty well, or above average. Above average Above average means like, not like the majority of the people. Okay, when you say above average, it's because you do the action like the majority of the people. Okay, like above average, you are not very, very good and you are not very, very bad. So you are in the middle, in the center of that. Okay. When the question is with how good, you can say, oh, I am pretty good at baseball. So how good are you at baseball? You can say, I am very good. I am pretty good. Or pretty good. Okay. Or not so good. How good are you at volleyball? Not so good. I never play volleyball. So I am not good at all. Okay, now, how well do you play volleyball? Not very well. I never play volleyball. So that's how you would say it. Okay. So that's pretty much it. So remember, how often? Frequency. How long? Duration. How well, with the adverb, refers to action or activity. And how good, adjective, refers to people. Okay? Good. So let's practice a little. Everything that wasn't there is going to disappear, but this is a video, so don't worry about it. So a question for you guys, and I hope you answer here in the chat, okay? I'm going to be checking the chat. How well do you cook? How well do you cook? That's my question. So come on, answer these questions in the chat. I want to see some answers. It's a video, so don't worry. It says Reese pretty well. Alan, no, your answer is incorrect. Remember, the question is how well do you cook? Not how good are you at cooking. So Priscilla says pretty well. And that is correct. How well do you cook? Pretty well, says Priscilla. And that is perfect. Okay, if you cook very well, so you will also say pretty well. Okay. This one. Okay, there you go. And V. Very good. Another question. How good are you at video games? How good are you at video games? Let's see. How good are you at video games? Says Alan, very good. Says Priscilla and Idelmi, not so good. Very good. Says very good. Or says not so good. Excellent. Excellent. So we got 3 people in here, so let's have 3 people in here, okay? So how good the teacher says? The teacher says that. The student 1 says that. The student 2 says this. Okay, very good. I'm okay, says Lewander, so you play I like. Okay, very good. And very good, not so good. Okay. Says Gilbert, very bad. He's very bad at video game. Okay, another question. How often do you exercise? Oh my. How often do you exercise? Let's see your answers. Says Priscilla, not very often. Not very often. Any other question? I mean, any other answer? Okay, so student 2 says twice a week. Very good. Twice a week. 3 times a week. 3 days a week, says Jose Daniel. Okay, very good. You got it. Another question. How long do you exercise? How long do you exercise? Like when you exercise, how long do you spend working out? Two hours? 2 hours, Jose Daniel, what? In a day, in a week, what? Says 2 hours a day. Wow, that is very good. That is very good. And student 2 says 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day. Very good. Two hours a day, says Gilbert. Okay, 2 hours a day. Very good. So you got the idea. You're very intelligent people. So this is how we use the questions. How well do you cook? Pretty well, not so well. How good are you at video games? How often do you exercise? Not very often, twice a week. And how long do you exercise? 2 hours, 30 minutes, and so on. So guys, this is the grammar. I hope you understood it. Thank you for being here.